Hello, I'm Chuck DeVetter, and I'm going to talk to you today about my perception of the two Gospels. I have a perception that there's two Gospels. There's just two Gospels. Now, I'm not trying to give anybody any new theology or anything like that, but I'm just trying to bring forth a thought or an idea. And this is the way I think about things as I think of the gospel. Okay, the gospel that we see most often in our world happens to be the gospel of performance. And what the gospel of performance says is that Jesus Christ shed blood on the cross did not do enough. That he didn't pay the full price, and so somehow he didn't pay, and his shed blood didn't do enough that he paid for me entirely. So then I need to go out and pay part of the price myself. And so what I do is I go out and I try to perform. I try to create my own value in what I do. And through that performance, I can create value and I can be okay. But if I don't perform well enough, or if I believe the fact that there's something wrong with me, what ends up happening is that I begin to participate in the gospel performance. And this world is filled with that gospel. And there's a lot of believers that actually practice the gospel performance constantly, but profess the gospel of grace. And at the same time, there's all kinds of unbelievers. Unbelievers, that's what they do, is they walk in performance. Performance is the basis of value and the basis of justification. And so the other gospel is really the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's a gospel of grace. And what that gospel says is my value is 100% tied into what Jesus did on the cross and his shed blood. And he paid everything. I don't have to pay anything. As a matter of fact, I don't have to perform at all. Now, a lot of people would say, okay, well, does that mean that you can do whatever you want to do? Yeah, you can. But the problem, the thought pattern behind that is that when I know how much God loves me, and when I know his love, I only desire to do what I'm created to do. And that's to worship him, to pour out his Spirit through me. And so the gospel of grace is saying that if I fall deep, deep in love with God and with Jesus, that I'll know his love in such a deep, intimate way that I can only do what I was created to do. And I can only do what he created me to do. And the gospel of grace says is that my value is not based on my performance. It's based on his performance, what he did on the cross. It's based on who I am and not what I do. Matter of fact, when God looks at me, he looks at who I am and not any type of performance standard. And so the gospel of grace automatically causes me to walk in righteousness. And the more that I know his love, and the more that I know who I am in him because of his love, I automatically walk out the gospel of grace. Thank you.